Okay. Okay, so let's kind of get started here tonight. This curriculum is called Family Wellness. Family Wellness is a 16-hour curriculum, and it's divided into two sections. It's Family Wellness Part 1 is 8 hours, and then, of course, the second half is 8 hours. And so we're going to dwell on or deal with the first session right now, or section 1 of Family Wellness. And so as we begin to deal with this, Family Wellness is really a curriculum about developing healthy relationships within the family. Tonight, though, we're going to look at parents and parents as leaders. There are basically 3 patterns that the research has given us about healthy families and healthy environments where families and the children grow up in healthy environments. And the first pattern there is that adults are in charge. That's the first pattern. Adults remain in charge. The second pattern in healthy families and healthy environments for families is that there's room to be close and room to be apart. There's room to really be close to each other, and then there's room to be alone and separate, and that's okay. The third pattern is in healthy environments with healthy families, they expect change to come. In other words, we don't expect it to stay this way forever or for a long period of time. As our children grow, we expect them to challenge us. We expect them to develop their own minds and to be able to think for themselves and those kinds of things. So we expect change. Okay, those are the 3 healthy patterns that are found. How many of us understand that there are some patterns, though, that aren't healthy? Sometimes we want to make or maintain the same thing all the time. When the kid was 4, this was the pattern. Now they're 12. And we're trying to keep this pattern. Now they're 16, and we're still trying to keep the same pattern. They're 17, and we're still trying to keep the same pattern. That's not a healthy environment. That's not healthy. Okay, and then there's 3 skills that we're going to look at today, and all through the curriculum we'll be just kind of pointing out these skills. And the first one is to speak, to say what you want, and to listen or to say what you hear. And the third skill is to then be able to cooperate to the point where you can reach agreement. Cooperate to where you can reach agreement. So, okay, say what you want. With the skill, with the proper skills, you can say exactly what you want. But there needs to be skill in how you say a thing, how you articulate it, how you say it. Okay, and then too often we just say things and it comes from our environment or how we were brought up. We say things and we have no skill as far as how the person that you are talking to receives what we're saying. Because it doesn't help us to say something that turns the person that we're trying to communicate with off. That doesn't help. So the skill is to say what you want in a way where that person can hear you. The other thing is to listen. Most of all of arguments that go on between parents could be solved or brought down if we had the skill of listening. The ability to communicate to the person who is speaking to us that we hear them and what they're saying to us is important. Listening. It doesn't mean I agree with you, but I do need to communicate to you that I hear what you're saying, I understand it, and it's important to me. The other thing is the skills of how to negotiate and to reach an agreement. To some people, agreement means the way I want it, just like I want it, and that's it. And you're supposed to just agree with that, and that's an agreement. Unfortunately, in the real world, that doesn't work too well for a long period of time. Okay, and so we really need to learn how to negotiate, to communicate with each other to the point and stay on track where we can reach an agreement. Too often we get off track by other issues that come up in life that we're dealing with that hasn't been settled, and we get off track. So the thing that we're talking about never gets resolved, and the big elephant gets to stay in the room because we're sidetracked by other things. So the ability or the discipline to stay on point and deal with the issue until we get it talked through, and then develop a plan to solve the problem, because you can't solve a problem unless you've talked it out. Everyone really needs to feel like they've been understood before you can actually move to problem solving. Okay, so it's really important to look at these skills. Speak or say what you want, listen, say what you hear, and then cooperate or get an agreement. That's the second three. Now, again, we want to look and focus tonight on parents as leaders. Parents as leaders do three things. The first thing that we do is we make the rules. The second thing we have to do is stick together. And the third thing that we have to do as parents is stay in charge. Three things: make the rules, stick together, stay in charge. Okay? This can be really tricky and really difficult. First of all, sometimes we try to make rules without negotiating or talking to the other parent, which can create a real problem in the home. Okay? Rules for our kids: if we've made up a rule, if we've created a rule and didn't consult the other parent, we're going to have a problem. And if we get into it with each other in front of the child, we're defeating ourselves. Okay, we are demonstrating now that we're not in charge. Okay, so we need to make rules, we need to stick together, and stay in charge. Now, before we go too far, there are three basic positions in relationship. The first position in relationship is the above position. Above position is, if you're the above person in the relationship, you're taking care of the other person or the other people in the relationship. You're making all the decisions, you're making all the rules, you're providing for them, and they're doing what you say. That's the above position. Okay? The second position is the below position. The below position is, I'm being cared for. I obey. I follow the rules. You care for me. You take care of my needs. The other position is side by side. The side by side position is that we take care of each other. This works good in a couple relationship. We take care of each other. We work together with each other. We make rules together. We run the house together. But for a parent, that's not the best position. The best position for the parent is the above position. The research has demonstrated that as long as parents are in charge, as long as they are in the above position, they take care and they make the rules. That's what the leader is. The leader makes the rules. The leader takes care of the family. The leader can be both parents. It doesn't necessarily have to be one. How many of us have ever seen a situation where the child was actually in the above position? They were making all the rules. They were telling the parents what to do. Okay? Anybody ever seen that? Okay. Have you ever been in a situation where you saw where there was a side by side or a beside you type of relationship where the children were like your friend, where the parent was the parent but the child was the friend of the parent? Let me just kind of help us with this now. There's nothing wrong with being nice with your children, but you really have to be the leader. You can't be the child's friend You have to be the leader. You have to be the parent. There's a lot of difference between the parent and the friend. Does it make sense? Everybody with me so far? Okay, any questions about this before we go any further? Okay.